Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Woolly Thistle ShopCast. It's great to be back with you and I'm glad you're joining me here. It's very warm, but we will knit our way through the summer and it's great to be doing that with you. If it's your first time visiting us, you're very welcome and I hope you stick around. And there is a little backlog of videos too. If you enjoy it and want more, there's a few more already. So thank you for joining us. And if you're a returning viewer and you're leaving comments and just joining our Ravelry group or our newsletter, thank you so very much for being a part of the Woolly Thistle. It's really good getting to know you guys. And I feel like I really am getting to know you. The episode last time had a prompt for comments about why do you knit? And we've had, at the time of recording this, over 300 comments, and some of them are just so beautiful. They're all wonderful. I haven't read them all yet, but I am reading every single one because I think they're very heartfelt, and I think that they're uplifting. They've put a joy in me. So if you need a little bit of lifting up, I would recommend you go read some of the comments that people have left on the last episode, which was the one where I did the lovage sweater. So it should just be the last one. And because I haven't read all of them yet, I have drawn a winner from last week's comments, but I'm going to draw again next week from that thread. So if you haven't left a comment yet about why you knit, then please do, because I'm going to draw again. I just am loving reading them, and it's just the pick-me-up you need sometimes, even though people will start knitting for all kinds of reasons, to get through cancer treatment or a breakup or other difficulties. What is really wonderful is that knitting came to the rescue. And we're very, very lucky to be knitters. I always feel that way. We are so lucky to have this passion and skill and excellent materials to work with that are hopefully more accessible than they used to be because of the Woolly Thistle. So it's fun. I get really jazzed. So I'm going to announce two winners from last time, and each of them will get a $25 gift certificate to the Woolly Thistle. One was picked at random and one was picked because it really made my heart sing. Because I'm nostalgic and it was quite a nostalgic post. But before I announce who they are, I just wanted to touch on some of the themes that I have read in the comments that I have read so far, which I'm hoping is about half of them. I'm really taking my time and enjoying them. So there was a lot of themes of, participating in the old ways and in the old crafts, and that there's a calming tactile quality to the knitting and the rhythm of the knitting too, and that it's simple tools. And I have to agree, I love that you can take a piece of string essentially and two sticks and make all kinds of wonderful things. Connection with other knitters, yep. Lissa said relationship to agriculture and human bonds with animals, and that was another common theme, is that knitting is a way to connect with the earth and the animals that roam the earth and that are farmed, and then of course all the different breeds of sheep, and also connecting to a place through your wool. So that was really exciting. Pat said she talked about courage and ripping and succeeding, which I thought was fantastic because knitting does challenge us. Even if you're a brand new knitter, obviously you've got to learn those two very important stitches, and then you're starting to work on your gauge, your tension, and not creating new stitches and not dropping stitches. So there's a whole learning curve to just becoming a knitter. But then for the knitters who, just knit every day, we are never short of things to learn. In fact, I have a little piece that I want to talk about today where I learned something new, and we're always learning something new and we're learning from each other. Catherine finds it meditative and she loves the community. That again was a common theme in the comments. And still learning new things from Anita. Christine says that she needed a winter hobby, then it took over her life. Hands up if you relate to that. Yes, knitting does take over our lives. I remember when the very first podcast I ever watched was the what are they called? The yarn zombies? Oh, now I don't even remember. That's terrible. But it's 2 girls. They're probably still going, and they run a retreat, which obviously won't be happening this year. They're out in the Midwest, and I remember watching an episode for the first time. I'd never watched a podcast before. I'd never been to Rhinebeck. And it felt like this guilty pleasure of sitting and knitting with a couple of friends who were just blethering away. And it was inspiring, but I also felt really strange that I was choosing to sit and watch these girls knit. But you know what? Obviously, podcasts have exploded since then, and everybody's doing that, and it's completely normal and fine. But I felt a little bit odd. But when I went to Rhinebeck for the first time, I fangirled on them. I was in line waiting to go in, and I saw them walking up to the line, and I lost it. They probably remember that too. I'm sure one of them rolled their eyes. So anyway, yes. And talking of which, Christine talks about how it combats shyness in social situations. She takes her knitting everywhere, whether it's meetings or parties. I mean, it's a great thing. If you need that crutch, you get something to do. You've got a talking point. Alison talked about it gives her focus, as well as it's an escape, and it's meditative, and the beauty that you create with your own hands. Yeah, I just wrote the initials MK. I think she's new, so welcome. And you talked about a piece of string into something beautiful. Yeah, it's magic. Larissa likes that she keeps her hands and mind busy with knitting. And Rochelle said it touches every part of my life in a positive way. And that's the truth, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, and someone, Snow, I just wrote Snow. I get in a panic if I don't have a project of yarn to knit with. So I think she was saying when she finishes a project and she hasn't planned her next one. And I know that feeling. It's also excitement though. It's like this whole new realm of possibility. But yes, I remember the first time that I finished a project. Like I finished it, knitted the last stitch, put it in the water to block it, turned around and cast on something new. And I think before that point, I always felt like, oh, I need a rest between projects, but I couldn't wait to cast on the next thing. And it was right after finishing the first thing. So at that point, that was me well on my way to being a daily knitter, where I didn't need a break in between knitting. I needed knitting in between the bits of my life. And then I guess the next stage is when knitting becomes your life. And you knit every day, no matter what you're doing. If you have to walk and knit, you'll do that to make sure you just, or for me, more lately, it becomes, well, if I can't get knitting in until I go home at night, I can touch gorgeous wool. We'll talk about that soon. Right, so those were some of the notes. Eastern Sky wrote, a boon of serenity in this time of imposed isolation. And I know a lot of us are feeling that way too. Jacqueline talked about airport knitting. I always knit in the airport because I'm too tired, or I'm too mixed up, or too stimulated to read a book. So I just whip out the knitting, and whether it's just a sock or something, it doesn't matter. Keeps your hands busy, keeps you grounded. And then you get on the plane and you whip your knitting out again, and the journey is over before you know it. Unless you're traveling with very young kids, which I've done. Not so much knitting. Emily was bedridden, and she found that starting to knit gave her a sense of productivity when she had this imposed non-productive time put on her. And I read that a lot, that, just being sick or ill or incapacitated, knitting was sort of a life raft. Oh, Carolyn talked about her grandmother's rocking chairs and how she now has both of them. So both her grandmothers had rocking chairs that they would knit in, and she has inherited both of them. And she talks about how the wood is worn down and that there's nicks from the needles in those chairs. I'm such a nostalgic person. That really stirs me up. I loved that one. And Brenda, you talked about your mom and her last words to you, and I loved them. So Yeah, there was a lot of really good stuff. Lots of relaxation, a lot of happiness, saving sanity, keeping our minds engaged, a creative outlet, stress relief. It's highly portable, which is definitely one of my favorite things about it. Loving to learn. They're thoughtful gifts if you do gift knitting. The color. When I first started falling into this huge rabbit hole of knitting, I would literally dream in beautiful color, just such bright colors of the rainbows. And I really wish I could get those dreams back because they were beautiful and I didn't want to wake up from them. And so, but now I have all this color in my actual life, in my waking moments, so I don't feel unlucky there at all. And the connection to the land and places. So those were just some of the notes from some of the comments that you left. I think this question is very fertile ground for us, looking at our own lives and our own relationship with knitting. And I hope that you continue to leave comments there because I'm really, really enjoying reading them, and I'm encouraging everyone to go back and read everybody else's comments because I think you will get a smile on your face, or you'll have an aha, or you'll just feel connected to the person that wrote that because you have a shared memory that they've expressed. So yeah, we can always too take this over to our Ravelry group and continue the conversation there if you'd like. We'll put a thread up in Ravelry, but I am going to go back to that thread after this episode, and I will also give away a prize from now on, so, or from the ones I haven't read yet, because that's only fair, but I do want to give away a couple of prizes. So the at random prize, which wins a $25 gift certificate, and I love this one too. She says, it's Irene Seferino. Congratulations, Irene. You say, I'm in love with knitting. Every night you can find me in my chair with my needles. This is all I want to do. I hope I can become a better knitter. So Irene Seferino, there you are. You are the winner of a $25 gift certificate to the Woolly Thistle. I love that you're in love with knitting because I know that feeling very well. So, and then I chose this one because it really resonated with me. It's a lovely picture that she creates in my mind, and probably yours too. Oh my God, I don't know whose name it is. The name didn't print. I will put the name here and I'll read what she wrote. And I'm sorry, I don't know why it didn't print your name, but I'll find it. As a girl, my family would go to my aunt's house on Sunday afternoons to knit. My uncles would light a fire, put on a pot of coffee, and disappear with the men. I am almost 60 now, and when I knit, I am back in that cozy cottage with the supportive women that raised me. Knitting connects me to my past. Just lovely. So you're winning a $25 gift certificate to the Woolly Thistle too. I resonated, or this resonated with me because knitting definitely connects me to my past and my home, which is so far away and seems further away these days because of COVID. And yeah, I just love that her family had that tradition. Really nice, really, really nice. Okay, so I blathered on about all your comments, but I think that's fair because you took the time to leave them and I really enjoyed them. I hope we can follow up with another prompt. I haven't decided what it is. It will probably announce itself as we go through this episode. So thank you so much for joining me. And if you're not on our mailing list, be sure to sign up. You can do that at thewoollythistle.com, 2 L's in Woolly. When you sign up, you will get insider info and maybe an odd discount or something special once in a while. So it's worth being on there. It's the main way I connect with you, and I really appreciate that you would sign up for that. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. I'm all over the internet as the Woolly Thistle. Just remember 2 L's in Woolly. So let's talk about, a new giveaway. Yes. So we'll do a $25 gift certificate next episode. We'll give away $25 next episode to, it'll be a random comment, but I haven't figured out what I should tell you to leave in the comments yet, so we'll have to watch for that. And I will also probably give away a set of nail polish, which I have here. This will go to a lucky winner as well next time. These are our signature colors, our flagship colors. They are named Yarn Sniffer, Fearless Steeker, and Watches Watchin'. And these are in the Woolly Thistle colors. I tried to get my nails done this morning, but I was afraid I would mess them up because I was running around and I didn't want to mess them up. So I'll be doing my nails tonight, which will be, if I time it right, maybe I'll get out of making dinner, because I gotta do my nails, and somebody else will make dinner, and then that'll give me time to also get my knitting in after that. Anywho, so let me see. So we will draw 2 winners next time, one from the thread from before, and then we'll have a new thread for this episode, okay? All right, so let me talk about what I've been knitting on. Actually, we're going to change things up. Let's talk about my bouncers here. This is an FO here, and there's another little FO hiding there that I'll show you. But first, I want to show you this FO that was sent to me as a surprise gift. And isn't it beautiful? This is from Carolyn, who is Woolly Needle on Ravelry. And this came in the mail to the shop, and she knitted it for me, which so kind and really lovely to receive. So thank you so much, Carolyn. She knitted it in Tukuwool fingering in the Auri colorway, which is 03. And I don't recall what gauge. I don't recall what gauge this is knitted at, but it's quite a nice airy gauge. And she designed the shawl. And what's super, super special about it, can you see? Can you see? She charted out thistles and put them in. Look at that. So yes, this is a beautiful shawl with thistles on it. I think it's called her Highland Thistle shawl. So here it is on. It's absolutely wonderful. The tuku is really nice in this gauge, and of course it's gray, which I love. It's a warm gray, and then it's got this little picot edging along the edge here, lovely garter stitch eyelets, and these beautiful charted thistles. So Carolyn, thank you very much, really, and over and above and not required at all, but I will enjoy this very much, very often when the winter comes and it's time. So isn't that lovely? Thank you so much, Carolyn. All right, so that's knitted in Tukuwool. And oh, if you go to Carolyn's Ravelry page, she does have the chart there on the project, which is called the Highland Thistle shawl. She designed the shawl and put this chart together. So go give her some love. Thank you so much. Okay, so that was a finished object that came in the mail, which was really nice. Of course, you recognize what this is. She's here for a reason, and I'll get to that. Of course, that is my vanilla sweater in Rauma Finullgarn 4128, my favorite. Okay, so this finished object over here is also knitted in Rauma Finullgarn in the 4133 colorway. And this is Sunshine on the Path Hap by P4Chen, who is Patricia Ann. And isn't it gorgeous? Can you see it? Okay, there we go. Isn't it beautiful? I think it is elegant and it's big. So let me take it off and I'll show you. All right, so here it is. Now this is the Trondheim Rose stitch, which is a lace, and it goes and it goes. And then she went back to garter stitch on either point on the end. So this thing could be a full-size table runner pretty much. I forget what needle size, it might be US 5, but it's bouncy. And you know, Rama is just really nice to block. It blocks out beautifully. It dries quickly and evenly, so you don't have those wet patches waiting to dry for days on end. This dried overnight very quickly. Maybe not even overnight, I can't remember now. But it was very quick and it was completely dry. And look at the drape in it, you know? Look at that. Yeah, and because it's garter stitch, I don't think there's really a right or wrong side. I think both sides will look good. So I'm gonna put it on for you now. So here we have it on, and you can wear this in so many different ways. I'm wearing it probably the most warm way you possibly can in July. So I'm getting some color in my cheeks, but isn't it lovely? And I just imagine wearing it with my big winter coat and just feeling very, very protected against the cold and the wind and the snow and the frostbite. It's lovely. It's just lovely. Well done, Patricia. If you're watching, you did a great job with this and with all your shawls. Patricia has a whole series of shawls knitted in Rauma Finullgarn, so do check out her Instagram at P4Chin, and you'll see all about them there. And I think she actually does a little series of photos of different ways to wear this particular shawl. I love it. I'm very happy. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. So that is 2 FOs right there, one mine, one a lovely gift. This is the 3rd FO of the day. Isn't she sweet? She's lovely. Let me bring her up closer. This I knitted for my daughter, obviously, because it's teeny tiny, but the sizing on this design and many of her designs is very generous and runs from very tiny to very large. So the designer is Jessie, and I'll put her Instagram here. She has a lovely Instagram, and she's the designer of the little bralette, ribbed bralette, I think it's called, and these gorgeous little shorts. Well, my daughter picked out this, and I said I'd knit it for her. And I'm ever so happy with this. And let me just show you the back as well. Oh, so cute. Her dad says, "You'll be wearing a t-shirt on under that, right?" Yes, Dad. Okay, so this is knitted in yarn that I don't stock because my daughter is convinced that she could not survive wearing anything that I stock. Who knows why? But this is lovely yarn that I picked up. Well, let's see, it's 2 yarns held together. So it's knitted in a fingering weight, but 2 yarns held together, which makes it more like a DK. And all throughout on up here is the base. So I had 100 gram skein from La Bien-Aimée when I took my daughter to Paris a couple of years ago. And that's been sitting in stash, very precious yarn that I enjoy looking at. I am quite the yarn collector, which is why I have a shop. But I also collect, you know, single skeins that just the colors speak to me. So this is La Bien-Aimée in one of her sock yarns. I had it somewhere, but I don't know where it is now. And then you can see there's a color changing, and so I'm going to call this her Neapolitan crop top because down here there's sort of a blue, and then it goes to pink, and then it goes to a nice creamy yellow. Right, so I did find the La Bien-Aimée. Here it is, and here's what's left. Isn't it pretty? And it's her Merino Sport, 355 yards. Oh, I used a sport weight. I didn't even think. I thought it was fingering. It's called Winter Garden, and it is merino, so I think it's 100%. And I bought that at her store in person when I went on a quick little trip for my daughter's 13th birthday. Just me and her went to Paris, which sounds very, I don't know, crazy, but we did it. And we got ourselves all around Paris, walking, metro. It was fabulous. All right, so the base is in that. And then oh, here's another bit. I do have more left. Here it is. I'm a ball winder by hand. I don't use, I don't make cakes. Right there. So you can see it's quite different. Okay. So, and I don't have any left of the little mini skeins, but I have other mini skeins. So I believe I used the pink one from Maya at the Wool Barn. I have some of her minis that I collect. And if a yarn dyer dyes minis, I'm a sucker. I love minis. So this is her luxury sock, which is MCN. And this one's called Blush. Beautiful. Beautiful. So I used some of Maya's Wool Barn in there. And then I used, she doesn't have a label, but you can see here a lovely bag, Playful Day yarns. She caught me on a good day, one day on Instagram, and I hadn't heard of her before. And so she was selling some little minis, and I believe maybe the yellow one, I think, came out of here. So this is a Playful Day. No, a Playful Day is somebody else, obviously. So this is just Playful Day yarns. Okay. Gorgeous. And I'm sure these are just, I don't know what's in them. I'm sure they're just merino and nylon, or 100% merino. It was a grab bundle. Do love a grab when it's yarn. Okay, whoops. All right. Oh, I'm getting really hot. I'm going to start looking like I've got a healthy glow. And it's probably because I'm freaking hot. All right, so back to this. So this is by Jessie May Martinson, who is on Ravelry, and it's called Her Little Secret Crop. And brilliant. I loved knitting this because I love the colors and the yarn is great. I enjoyed knitting it, but I'll be glad to get back to my woolly wool. But I really enjoyed Jessie's pattern. It was very friendly, very beginner friendly too. And she taught me a new skill, which are these gorgeous straps. So these straps are completely the same front and back. So it's an I-cord, but it's a flat I-cord. So it's a double knitted I-cord, which I've never done. Never done double knitting, but I could get the sense of what you do just by knitting this. And it's so pretty and stretchy. Wait, where's the top one? Very stretchy, so it's going to stretch over her shoulders. And it's just so pretty. We love the I-cord. And it feels scrunchy and soft. So yeah, Jessie, you did a great job with your pattern, and I'm sure all your patterns are just as well written. Really enjoyed it. Weekend to knit, very quick. Also doubles as a gift to my daughter, and doubles as something she will actually wear. So I'm very happy with that. So those are the things that I've finished lately. All right, something that I'm knitting on right now. I do have a couple of whips in the works, but I don't think I brought them today because they're no further forward. But one thing I said I was going to do, and I have done, is knit a pair of socks in Rauma Finullgarn. Now, talk about bringing your dirty laundry with you, or showing your dirty laundry in public. That's what I'm doing. These have not been blocked yet. They were very quick little shorties that I just knit. I haven't woven in ends, but I'm wearing them as much as I can. It's been hot, but I've been wearing them around the house to see how they do. So hardwood floors, and I didn't do any special reinforcement, but I've been wearing them quite a bit, and I've got to cast on the second one because I will wear these as real socks when the time comes. So there, you can see it's thinning, right? Or it's stretching. I think it's stretching. I have very wide feet, and maybe I didn't allow for enough stitches to get around my heel. There, I'm trying to give you the best critical view. So, I don't know, 7-10 wears without washing. I just, you know, if I'm home, I throw on a sock if it's not too hot. And then I walk around, cook dinner, put them in my shoes to go up and let the chickens out or feed them or whatever. So what do you think? What do you think? Is this wearing well? It's wearing well enough that I am not deterred from knitting the second sock. This is 100% wool, Norwegian wool from Rama. It's Rauma Finullgarn. It's what this is knitted in. And it's what my lovely Sun on the Hap, or Sun on the Path hap, is knitted in. So here, how many different things can we knit in Rama? How many diverse things can we knit in Rama at different gauges and for different uses? I think a lot. So I'm going to keep testing this. I should probably start counting so that I can say with accuracy, this sock lasted 100 wears. What do you think is a good, here we go. Now we have our question, or prompt for the comments. So tell me what you think about this. 7 to 10 wearings on hardwood floors. I haven't worn them outside on the ground. You know, they've been in a shoe. The toe looks great. Absolutely no problem. So if I'm hard anywhere, I'll be on my heel. There's the top. So this is the sole. It's fine. Absolutely not a mark. So you can see completely fine and starting to look like it's been worn a while. But what do you think? Tell me what you think. Is this acceptable? It's 100% wool. No nylon to strengthen it. This is a pure wool sock. Would you knit socks out of this? Would you knit socks out of Rauma Finullgarn? And do you think, and then tell me, because if you would knit socks, you think this is acceptable. Tell me what you look for in a pair of socks in terms of how they wear. Pair of socks that you've knitted. Now, we do have Rama Gammelzeri in the shop too. I have a few colors. It comes in far fewer colors than the Finullgarn to start with. And I'm getting more in. I'm going to broaden our color range here at the shop soon. So that is a higher twist yarn. Okay, so let's move on to the vanilla sweater because I want to talk about it for a little minute. There's always something new to talk about there. There's been quite a lot of talk in the Ravelry group about necklines and picking up stitches for your neckline. So I wanted to show you what mine looks like inside. You'll see that there is a ridge, right, where I picked up the stitches. But once it's blocked, everything settles down and flattens out, all right? So I thought it might be helpful if I show you how I pick up stitches. And by design, I haven't knitted on my current vanilla whip 466. So I can pick up stitches on this for you right now. But let me get myself organized. I'm also picking them up on a big fat needle because I don't have the right size needle with me. I can only plan so much. Okay, the instructions in the design for the vanilla sweater says start at the right back and pick up, I think, 37 stitches, I think. So first of all, let's orient ourselves. You're looking at this. Here's the front and here's the back. This is the right back. I'm not sure if this shows this right when this plays back or if it's reversed. But when you're wearing it, this is the right side. So this is where you want to start picking up stitches. And I'm going to turn so that I'm the same orientation as you, I think. Now, the garment is right side out. So this is the finished side and this is the inside. And you're going to start near the seam, near the raglan seam at the right back, holding the garment right side out and right side in your right hand. And you're going to pick up stitches. And I believe it's 37 stitches. I can't remember now how many stitches are between the raglan seams, but I'm going to assume it's somewhere in the 37 to 40-ish to 45-ish even number of stitches. That's my guess. So I'm a left-hand knitter. I'm right-handed, but I knit continental. So my working yarn is going to be in my left hand, and my working needle is in my right hand. Okay, I'm hoping you can see this. Now, a good rule of thumb is to pick up 3 stitches for every 4 stitches that you're picking up. And you can see I'm already getting that little ridge. The ridge is not bad. It's not a bad thing. Okay, so I picked up 5 stitches here. Now I'm just going to go into the next one. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going in, you can see where the bind on or cast on is, and you can see the ladder stitch below it. I'm going in between the cast on ridge and the first ladder, catching the yarn and pulling it through. Okay, I hope you can see this. I'll do it again. I'm going in under the cast on but above the first ladder. I'll just keep doing a couple. Right? And then every once in a while, I will skip a stitch off of the thing. So I would go in here normally, but now I'm going to go in here. And it's not precise. It doesn't have to be. It's going to work. Okay, so now you see, so this I will knit up into my neckband, and you can see what a lovely even row this is going to create. And on the inside you have a ridge. So it might look bumpy and lumpy, but once you block it, it will be fine. I think getting the vertical placement of where you want to pick up right is what makes it work. So again, here's my finished, and I think you will agree that this looks like it lays flat and nice. And so that's because I picked up this stitch that was right under the cast on before the first ladder. So it's like a little window for your needle to go in. And you do that all along so that you're not maybe picking up one a little bit low and then one a little bit, you know, like you're only getting a little bit of the cast in edge picked up. And so it's hanging down. So I think so long as you are consistently picking up the same spot vertically, you will get a nice even finish. And there's the inside. And it does want to curl. Well, it looks like it's curling up, but it's really not. On the outside, it looks fine. On the inside, you've got this ridge. But it feels okay. It doesn't bother me. It's not like having a jaggy label sticking into you or something. So I hope that's helpful. And that gives you some guidance if you were wondering about that or having issues with your neckline. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Leave a comment in the Ravelry Cal thread, which is still going. All right, let's get on to the shop update and tell you what's happening in the shop. All right, very quickly, the Knitting Buddy program is still going. If you want knitting buddies, reach out, put your name on the list, and we will match you up. Maggie's doing a fantastic job with that. And that came about because of COVID, and we worried about knitters feeling isolated because they have to stay home. And as this thing is just going on, we're continuing our Knitting Buddy program. So do reach out. Nobody needs to be alone. So we can all have a knitting buddy, okay? We still have the Stuck at Home thread for viewing and listening, and we also have a book thread as well. So lots of nice suggestions in there to keep you busy. So let us know your suggestions in the Ravelry group. All right, new and coming to the Woolly Thistle. By the time you're watching this, Marie Wallen's gift boxes will have gone live. I don't have them here yet. They're gone live as a pre-order, but just to show you the gorgeous yarn itself, here they are. So Marie's gift boxes, she did the first one last summer and it sold like crazy. There was only 12 colors at that time. Now she has 16 colors, and the new gift box number 2, has all 16 colors, as well as a beautiful pattern for the mulberry wrap, which is just gorgeous, and it uses all 16 colors in it. And you also get you get the booklet with the 4 patterns from the first gift box as well, and a Marie Wallen calico bag as well, and all of that is presented in a very sturdy box with a magnetic closure, so it's really high class. And you know, the wool itself is amazing. This is lime flower. Marie has her yarn spun up at John Arbon. It's 4 breeds of British yarns, including Blueface Leicester, Exmoor, Wensleydale, and Zwartblaze. And of course, being Marie Wallen, they all complement and work really well together in colour work. This is a worsted spun yarn, interestingly. I don't think it behaves like a worsted spun yarn. It's very, very amazing. My guess is that everything could be dyed in the wool, meaning it's dyed before it's spun, because you get all these lovely flecks and depth of color. So that's my guess. I don't know for sure. I should find out. I'll let you know what I find out. This is mulberry. Lovely. And I think the way it's spun and the blend of the yarns just make for this really interesting, luxury, glossy, fluffy, soft yarn that does great in color work or as an all over. It's very squishy. It's got a high squish factor, but it's also really glossy. It's sort of an alchemy that she's done with John Arbon. Of course, as soon as we get all this yarn in, the Primrose kits sell out very quickly. They use a lot of yarn, a lot of colors, but people do enjoy that. So I'm hoping to see lots of primroses. Okay, so that is that. So I don't know at recording this whether or not they've all sold out, if I can get more, if they're in the shop even right now. So if you're interested in Marie Wallen's gift box, do head over to the shop and see if you can snag one of those. Handy Women by Kate Davies has been in the shop all year on the shelf, but not in the shop. It just sort of dawned on me that we hadn't sold any of these. And that's because we hadn't put them live in the shop. That's my fault. So if you've been looking for this book, here it is. We have it. It's on the shelf and it's in the shop now. So get that. This is a memoir of sorts about her struggle after a stroke that she had at a very young age. And just, I mean, she is an inspiration. All right, so we have lots of Kate Davies books. That's what I was going to tell you, because I went to order more because I'm filling up my Kate Davies library for you, and there'll be her new books in there. And then I saw that we had these, but they weren't for sale. So they're for sale. Okay, so Kate Davies is coming. We have more Daughter of a Shepherd coming too. This is her book Beginnings, which is gorgeous and has really excellent patterns for her Hebridean yarn. Lovely. It's called Beginnings because it gives you the history of her little company that does really well. There's a gorgeous shawl called Ezric. I'm trying to find. Look at the texture. Can you see the texture? Yeah. Oh, I do love a chocolate yarn. I really, really do. So we're pretty sold out of her Hebridean blends right now, but more is coming. We do have some Ram Jam in stock, but we'll be filling up our shelves with that very soon. I think we're also out of by hand, which number is this? 12? Yeah, London, and number 9, which is Nova Scotia. I really want to go up there. I want to go to PEI and Nova Scotia I want to go all the way up because I feel like it'll be very similar to home. Yeah, my dream is to rent a Sprinter van, fill it with yarn, or half fill it with yarn, go up there, go to the PEI Fibre Festival, which I know is happening remotely now, but I want to go to it in person, and visit all the people up there. They don't know who I am, but I want to go visit them. And yeah, fill my Sprinter van full of yarn for the trip home. These are my dreams. Right, so we'll be getting more of these in, and also number 11, which is New Hampshire and Vermont. So be looking out for those if you're interested. So excited that we'll have more Shetland Wool Week in stock, and we'll have 2020 when it becomes available. They're working on an annual for 2020, even though Shetland Wool Week isn't happening because of COVID. So my order is in. This book does run on the expensive side, but it's worth it. It just costs so much to make it and get it over here that I have to reflect that in the price. But I think these annuals, Britain loves an annual. This is not really an American thing, I think. So an annual is a book that comes out once a year. And when you're a kid in Scotland or England growing up, part of your Christmas would include an annual, whether it was the beanie, the Jackie, the Bunty. I loved Bunty. All these different comics for kids way back when I was a kid, we would get the annual. And so annuals are very much a nostalgic thing, and they're still a very relevant thing back home in the UK. So these annuals come out once a year. They're very expensive, but you know what? You and I are worth it. And also, it's cheaper than going to Shetland this year, isn't it? So it's a good consolation. They put beautiful articles and photography in there, along with patterns. Oh, good colors. Patterns featuring Jameson and Smith, Jameson's of Shetland. Ooh. And yeah, a few other. See, this never ever gets old. Here's Mary Wallen's contribution to 2019. This is a sweater, a colorwork sweater. It's crocheted, and it was knitted, crocheted in Jameson's of Shetland. So I'll be getting 2017, 2018, 2019 coming in very soon. They're on their way, and then when 2020 is released, we'll get those too. So keep your eyes open. Consider, do you want to spend that much? And if you want to, be ready. Okay, all right. So if you're on my mailing list, that's the sort of thing that you'll get a heads up about before it's on Instagram, before it's anywhere else. 52 weeks of socks. We're still selling pre-orders for this. And this, of course, is by Lina magazine, and it's 52 weeks of socks. So this is a gorgeous, gorgeous book. Nice big, heavy woven cover. Beautiful photography in Lina's style. So we're still taking pre-orders for that. Those are coming in. I wanted to let you know also that Selbu Mittens is back in stock. We were out of this for a little while. And this is the beautiful book by Anna Barsgaard. And it's all about the history of Selbu Mittens, as well as offering up some patterns in the back. But probably the most exciting thing, or equally exciting, are the charts. This book is full of Selbu mitten charts. Full. Chock-a-block. Oh, God, look. You just look. There's a lot of history and storytelling behind the different designs. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. This is a must-have if you're a mitten knitter. And it's in English now. You used to only get that in Norwegian, and it cost twice as much. As we say in Scotland, it's cheap at half the price. And it is. Okay, brand new to the shop, and will be in the shop by the time you're seeing this, is Lithuanian Knitting. And Donna Drakanis is one of the authors of this. And Donna is right across the river in Vermont. and she loves her Lithuanian. Now I haven't, this is my first time looking through it because it just arrived. And again, it is full of charts and instructions, history, and yeah, featuring knitters all around Lithuania. My gosh. Oh, look at all that wool. There's a lady spinning. There's some gloves and some charts. Quite a few charts actually. So for every pair of mittens in here, there'll be the chart for it, obviously, along with the instructions. Let's see. There's some socks. Gorgeous. So that's there if you're interested. And then the last book I wanted to show you today is brand new and will be in the shop now, is Norwegian Knitting Designs 90 Years Later. So they have mittens on the front. Oh, gorgeous end paper. And there's even, this little book comes with it too. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Gorgeous. Oh my gosh, look at these. Yeah, this just came in too. So this is my first time looking at it and I love it. I love it. Okay, so that's in the back, tucked in the back of each copy. And then inside we are looking at patterns and really nice ones. So it's taking the traditional Norwegian style and bringing it up to date. And there are a few things that I want to knit in here. There's some, oh, cute little kitty winkles. And, oh, who needs to knit a dress? Oh, adorbs. All right, but where's the one that I want to knit? Yeah. Hats, neck cozies for dogs. There's lots of socks. And of course, Rauma Finullgarn or Rauma Strickgarn or whatever weight would be good for this because that is pure Norwegian. All right, I can't find the pattern page, but look here, this is what I'm really interested in myself. It's the traditional Norwegian cardigan, jazzed up a little bit. I love that one, blue on gray. The one on, she's wearing a white skirt. I really like that pink one. So we have this in the shop now. All right, what else do I need to talk to you about? So those are books that I wanted to show you. Frangipani. So over in Britain, in the mill world, they take a couple of weeks off every year in August. So we're coming right up in that. Or maybe it's July for some of them. So we are having some production slow down because of COVID as well, and now it's the holidays. So I'm not able to get all the colors I want from Frangipani, but I was able to get some brand new colors to us. And as soon as I can get those other colors that I want to replace that we've sold, we will get them in. So this here is a brand new color to the Woolly Thistle, and it's turquoise. So that should be in the shop now. And we also have here, which is new, Bottle, which is a green. Very traditional Ganzi color. And of course, Frangipani is for Ganzi knitting traditionally. This is black. Is it called black? Yeah. Each cone weighs 500 grams and I think is about 1,200 yards. I think. I have to check on the shop. So a small Ganzi could be knit with one, but typically I think you need 2 cones to finish a full-size sweater. Deep violet, this is pretty. This one feels really woolly. So Ganzi yarn traditionally has a much higher twist, like the Gammelzeri, but it's a 5-ply, highly twisted yarn. So it might not feel the softest when you're knitting with it because it's got a lot of structure, but then that makes it perfect knitting for Gansey sweaters, which the fishermen would wear when they went out to sea around the UK and elsewhere. This is if you're lost at sea, they can find you. This one here is red. So we have that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 brand new colors in the shop. If you want them, go grab them. Right, so Gansey knitting, I think, is a whole subject we should devote to an episode sometime. Let me know if that's of interest. So that went in the shop. I know I did at the top of the shop show you, we have lots of these in stock now. These are the Woolly Thistle flagship colors. And we have just a few of, my labels are all round, but you can see there's each bottle has a Woolly Thistle logo on it because these are made for the Woolly Thistle specifically, which is so nice, by Tailor Made Polish, which is a US company down in Pennsylvania, women-owned, ex-veteran. So I love supporting her. She's a good friend. And so these are the pinks, and includes I Like Big Shawls, Wool Pig, and This'll Do Nicely, which was the winning name when I asked for name suggestions. And then we have some red still, and none of these are facing the right way. Oh, there. So these are lovely. And let me see, we got Deep Stash, Polymonogamy, and Yarn Fumes. So yeah, and I think we should try and get some more colors. I'm thinking greens or blues, or maybe green and blue in one set. We should have all the Lopi back in stock that we need to populate the Ado yarn sets and the Rusty cardigans, because I think they're out as I record this, and I have boxes over here to put in the shop. So hopefully by the time you're seeing this that we still have some. If we don't, click on the notify me when available link on the product page, because we're always ordering more, and that helps me figure out how much I need to get, and then I have to get more. All right, and then okay, so we just got Lopi, Ploto Lopi, and we've got pretty good stock of wet Lopi right now. Rama, we are getting a huge shipment in, so we should be getting much more replenished in that. We have gone through our stocks a lot, so I'm trying to build them back up. But the most popular colors, which are those heathered colors between 4120 and 4139, we're trying to keep them really in stock, and then we're filling in all the holes everywhere else too. And I'll get more Gamel Zeri in. We might have that by the time you see this, or I'll just be going in, but there are some in the shop already. Then Tuku, I've got a huge giant box over here as well to replenish. Looking at it, I think it's in pretty good shape, and we're really just topping up. They have new colors, but they don't have them yet, so I can't get them, but I will be ordering them. They're lovely gentle green color on white and on the gray, and there might be another third color. There is. So when I can get those, I will. Tuku just raised their prices on their retailers, so I'm doing some sums. I'm trying not to raise the price on it for you. We'll see how I do. All right, we'll have lots more of John Arbon's Exmoor sock coming in soon. Not all the colors, because again, we're hitting that the dye house is on vacation, and so John Arbon isn't able to get his dyed wool back yet. So we are going to hit that, but we are getting, it's on its way right now as I record this, and might be in the shop when you see this, that more of these will be in stock. So I'm getting maybe half to 3/4 of the colors, and there'll be a few that are out of stock that will replenish when we can get them. What else? Jameson and Smith, I'll be getting more cones in, mostly natural colors. If you want a cone of a specific color, I can get that for you. You just have to send us an email and tell us what you want. We'll add it to our order, the next order that's going. I'm also getting in some heritage because I think we're a little low on that, and we'll be filling all the bins of color as we always do. And we'll be getting more color cards if I'm able to. And those color cards are always offered to newsletter subscribers first, because it's a thank you to them for subscribing. They get first access, and usually they clean them out. So I'm not able to put them in the shop generally ever because there's just more demand than supply of those. So join the newsletter and you'll be the first to know, and you probably stand a pretty good chance of getting one. New yarns, we have some Regia sock yarn coming very soon, and that will be brand new to the shop. It'll be their sock yarn in merino, yak, and polyamide or polyamide. I don't know how you say it. It's kind of like a nylon, and it's a synthetic fiber for strength. So this is a merino yak, very soft sock yarn coming in 100-gram balls in lots of gorgeous colors that are solid colors. I didn't go for the self-striping. I didn't go for the crazy, flashes of pooling colors. I went for solids because I think around here we're pretty much classic girls who like to have a crazy moment here or there, but maybe for the most part we like to knit with less colors. If I'm wrong, don't be backwards and coming forwards and telling me. That's just my assumption. So, and it's what I like. Truth be told, I like these colors very much that are coming. So we'll be sending out an announcement when they get here. Those would be great socks to knit for the sock sprint. That is the last 2 weeks of August. I'll be starting to promote that. You probably might have seen something on Instagram already about that before this goes live. So be on the lookout, join us. The sock sprint is fun. It is hugely low key. All it is knit socks for 2 weeks. However many pairs of socks, even if it's one, is a win. And you don't have to knit with yarn from the Woolly Thistle. You don't have to knit with any specific designer. The Cal is open to anyone knitting any yarn, any weight of yarn, any sock yarn, any design. It's just knit some socks for 2 weeks. Bang out as many pairs of socks as you can knit. So maybe you have some chunky yarn that you want to knit boot socks for. That would be excellent. But of course, I'll probably be choosing a 4-ply, and I'll probably be choosing either. Let me tell you what we've got for sock yarn in the shop. Tukuwool sock, West Yorkshire Spinners, signature 4-ply, lots of gorgeous colors and designs in there. The Regia merino yak, and I'll put them here because I know there's more than that. So the Woolly Thistle does have some sock yarn for you to choose from, which is great. But this is a stash busting thing too. So if you have sock yarn that you want to use, you're welcome to. And we'll have a Ravelry thread in the group where we can all hang out and chat and talk about socks. Okay, so that is coming. Do join us. All right, what else? Free shipping on all orders in the US of $99 or more. It's $9 flat rate shipping up to $99. So if you can swing it, you're better off throwing something in your cart and getting free shipping. I think that's all I have for you. The place is totally destructed now. It's very, very warm. And I think it's time for me to go, pack up and head home, do my nails, and then do some knitting because it's too hot to do anything else. So anyway, I hope you're well. I really enjoyed chatting with you this time. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. Please leave a comment about socks and what you accept as wear and tear on socks. I noted there's no pilling, so that's a good point too. Yes, and specifically for Rauma Finullgarn, would you knit socks with it based on what I've shown you today? I would love to know. Let's explore, let's chat. And also, if you haven't already left a comment in the Why You Knit thread, which is under the last episode of the podcast on YouTube, please leave a comment because it's so uplifting to read all those. And thank you to everyone who already did. All that's left to say is if you go out, wear a mask and take your knitting. Bye for now.